Mantras of our Divine Mother, date 5th December. Our Divine Mother says, "It is with the confidence of a child that our heart implores the Divine. With my blessing," says our Divine Mother. Sri Aurobindo in Nirodharan describes the occasion of December 5th, 1915. On 5th December 1950, at 1:26 a.m., Sri Aurobindo left his body, and by morning, the entire body was seen to be suffused with a gold and crimson hue, so fresh and so magnificent, lifting us from the pall of gloom to a mute wonder. This supramental light remained for 5 days at a stretch, and many people witnessed the magnificent and unique phenomenon. A mortal body generally shows signs of decomposition within 24 hours, but for 5 days, Sri Aurobindo's body remained intact with no signs of discoloration or decomposition. Gradually, on 9th December, the light began to fade, and in the evening, the body was put in a rosewood box and laid to rest in the ashram courtyard under the cool shade of the service tree. Our Divine Mother gave the world the mantra of renewal, the Mother's mantric hymn of gratitude to the Master in the name and behalf of the earth and of humanity. To Thee, who has been the material envelope of our Master, to Thee our infinite gratitude. Before Thee, who has done so much for us, who has worked, struggled, suffered, hoped, endured so much, before Thee, who has willed all, attempted all, prepared, achieved all for us, before Thee we bow down and implore that we may never forget, even for a moment, all we owe to Thee. This solemn affirmation of infinite gratitude on 9th December followed close upon the Mother's sad acknowledgement of the previous day that the lack of receptivity of the earth has been made mainly responsible for Sri Aurobindo's decision to leave his body. The earth was as yet unprepared to receive the impact of the supramental descent, and perhaps Sri Aurobindo had to offer himself as the advance scout of humanity, says our Divine Mother. Then Sri Aurobindo left his body on 5th December 1950. He was not forced to leave his body. He has chosen to do so. He had accumulated in his body much supramental force, and as soon as he left, you see, he was lying on his bed. I stood by his side, and in a way altogether concrete with such a strong sensation as to make one think that it could be seen. All this supramental force which was in him passed from his body into mine, and I felt the friction of the passage. It was extraordinary. It was an extraordinary experience, says our Divine Mother.
Tu domineras toute la terre de ton amour souverain, et les consciences seront illuminées de ta sérénité. Telle est la promesse Thou wilt reign over all the earth with thy sovereign love, and the consciousness of men will be full of the light of thy serenity. This is the promise.
Words of our Divine Mother from the book All India Magazine, August 2015 edition, page 34, topic Sri Aurobindo dwells in the subtle physical. Our Divine Mother says, there in that immense cave of the inner being, one must plunge to find the inner support. One must descend and descend further, more and more, plane after plane, consciousness after consciousness, leaving behind all imprints and enter into the very depths to find the serene peace. Within this immense quietude of the being, far from the exterior noise, far from the anguish and the pain, far from the thoughts and the imaginations, far, far away from the waves of sensations, one must enter very carefully there where the ego does not exist to feel the presence. There is yet further to go, still more to discover, to turn the consciousness inwards where the power vibrates, all powerful, which accomplishes everything. You must still go deeper where there is no act, no impression, no ego, no separate self, nothing but waves of joy and a vibration which is at the origin of everything, like that, equal gesture and of a perfect equanimity, to feel and be of a perfect equanimity. Our Divine Mother says, to feel and be united in this perfect and immutable peace, then to enter into that serene beatitude where the consciousness is completely identified with the central being. There is no duality anymore, no existence anymore, nothing at all, to be one with this spark of the immortal flame, the immanent divine, the unique and the one, the soul that resides in us. And still deeper, in this purifying flame resides Sri Aurobindo, immutable Ananda, all-powerful, the invincible, the supreme Lord of our existence, the manifestation of the omnipresence in existence, the omnipotence in His effectuations, the omniscience of the supreme power manifested, one who is the goal, the master, the beloved, who is also the supreme Lord, says our Divine Mother. Next subtopic, the power of Sri Aurobindo's name. Our Divine Mother says, when one truly calls him our Lord Sri Aurobindo, it is from there our Divine Mother indicates the heart that Sri Aurobindo answers. It vibrates by his name with his consciousness. There resounds the name of Sri Aurobindo because his imprint is there. In the very depths, it is he who resides. All existence lives by him. It vibrates by him. The whole universe vibrates by him. He is there in everything, vibrate and animating by his presence. The delight of his name penetrates and purifies all, rings and resounds everywhere in the sublime joy, eternal and true. With his name, the existence, the delight of his name penetrates and purifies all, rings and resounds everywhere in the sublime joy, eternal and true. With his name, the existence takes on a meaning to rediscover the immanent divine hidden in everything in this whole universe. To find him is the eternal game. To feel him is to feel the immutable peace of perfect purity. To realize him is to find the eternal joy. To call him is to unlock the doors of infinity. This is the power behind the name Sri Aurobindo. Our Divine Mother says, I am there as a presence in the eternal flame, the power that animates and initiates the action, the peace that renders all sweet and peaceful, the joy that overflows and sublimates, the light that purifies, and the vibration that sanctions. Sri Aurobindo is there as a sustaining entity, and me, I am there like a guide. In fact, it is the same identity in two, one who observes the witness and the other effectuates the Shakti. So long as one has not realized that, one cannot understand anything. Yes, my child, he who recognizes Sri Aurobindo and me, in fact, it is the same thing, the same identity. For him, all obstacles, all difficulties, all traps, all the so-called interruptions on the march towards the truth are swept away and removed forever in this life as well as after death, in the lives to come, till eternity. Yes, for him, the Lord is all-powerful, only to repeat, Ma Sri Aurobindo, Ma Sri Aurobindo, Ma Sri Aurobindo. That is enough, says our Divine Mother.
Master, this body is thy instrument, this will is thy servant, this intelligence is thy tool, and the whole is only thyself.
Our Divine Mother says, when I asked him, December 8, 1950, to resuscitate his body, he clearly answered, I have left this body purposefully. I will not take it back. I shall manifest again in the first supramental body, built in the supramental way, says our Divine Mother.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Gurave Namaha.
Vidyate Hridaya Granthischidhyante Sarva Sanshaya Shiyante Chasya Karamani Tasmin Drishti Paravare Brahmai Vedamamritam Brahma Pascha Brahma Dakshinataschodharena Adhaschodhancha Prasiddham Brahmai Vedam Vishwamidam Vadishtham Tva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Vruksham Parishasvajate Tayoranya Pipalam Swadadya Nasnanyo Abhijagashiti Samane Vrukshe Purusho Nimagno Hanishaya Shochati Muhyamanaha Jushtham Yada Pashyati Annamishavasya Mahimanamiti Vitashokaha Satyameva Jayate Namritam Satyameva